another mass shooting in the U.S. And again, we're hearing the same arguments from those in favor and those opposed to any changes to gun laws. And when a reporter asked Texas Senator Ted Cruz if it was now time to address gun control, he fired back.
You know, it is an unfortunate thing that the immediate place the media goes after any tragedy, after any murder, is politicizing it. We don't need politics right now. You know, I would note in New York we saw a terror attack just this week with a truck. Evil is evil is evil, and will use the weaponry that is available.
Joining me now, Democratic strategist Matthew Littman and CNN political commentator and Republican consultant John Thomas. Okay, Matt, despite the the attack on the media, which I thought was a bit unfair by Senator Cruz, he did seem to explain in that one sentence why America has such an epidemic of gun violence. He talked about evil people will use the weaponry they can find. And this country has more guns than any other country on the planet, which study after study has found correlates to more people being shot dead.
Well, there's no question about it. The United States has a unique situation. It's not, a lot of the conservatives are saying this is a mental health issue. The United States doesn't have an epidemic of people who've lost their minds. They have an epidemic of people of guns, and these mass shootings occur. Mass shooting, I think, is 4 or more people. Yeah. We have more of those than there are days in the year in the United States. And now we're having bigger and bigger mass shootings. This Congress doesn't want to do anything about it. Let's also keep in mind that a few years ago, this president, after the Newtown shooting, in which a bunch of first graders were killed, he wanted an assault weapons ban. And then he ran for president as a Republican, and now he's pro-gun. He's pro-gun all the way. And I think this president is just not strong enough on gun issues to really make a dent. You need to have a Democratic legislature and a Democratic president if you really want to make a dent on the gun issue.
Well, I think I'm proud of actually the president's position on this, the fact it is a mental health issue in this case, and the fact is it was guns that stopped this guy. And here's the problem with the gun control argument, is the only honest thing that a Democrat could argue for gun control is total confiscation, because there are so many guns out there that try to increase laws, which, by the way, this guy really shouldn't have been able to buy a weapon if the Air Force had reported him to the FBI. Well, so it's not more gun laws that will stop this from happening. Argument. We can talk about the Vegas shooter that there was can you propose one gun law?
Yeah, I'm going to propose one right now. The president took away, there was a regulation after Newtown that people who had mental health issues couldn't get guns certainly as easily as they can now. They took that away a few months ago. That was Donald Trump's idea. The Congress went for it.
And that would have stopped Stephen Paddock in Vegas.
Well, it may have stopped somebody. I mean, we have mass shootings every day. You said that mental health is a problem in this case. Why is Congress making it easier and this president making it easier for people with mental health issues to get guns?
That's not the case.
Well, this was an Obama-era regulation which required the Social Security Administration to advise the National Background Check Registry if someone who had a psychiatric issue and they had to be advised to advise that person to this background check. So if this person went out to get a gun, they would know that he had some kind of mental health issue and therefore he would not get the gun. And you just said it's a mental health issue, so wouldn't that have helped?
Well, the FBI was supposed to be notified about bad conduct discharge.
Don't forget about the FBI. That was a screw up by the Air Force. But
I'm just saying there were checks in place that should have stopped
this. They took away this provision for people with mental health issues to be able to get guns. Now, why do you think that's the right thing? If mental health issues are the problem, how could that be the right thing to do?
I don't know that that's the answer, but the reality is he would have gotten a gun one way or another. He would have gotten a gun one way or another.
From John Adams, he says, facts are stubborn things. No matter your wishes, your desires, or the dictates of your passions, you can't alter the state of the facts and evidence. I don't think he said it with a Long Island accent, but he said it. Ronald Reagan once said facts are stupid things. He meant to quote him. And then he went on and corrected himself. But I really think that since, in the last 30 years, the Republican Party just believes that facts are stupid.
Well, no,
and in this case, mental health.
No, the challenge is these are criminals. They will not abide by laws, and perhaps you can stop them from going to Big Five or Bass Pro to buy their weapons, but they're going to get the weapons. The only people that will maybe hurt by more and more gun laws, because it's a slippery slope, of course, you keep going more and more, is that you won't get those NRA-trained guys like the plumber outside the church to actually stop these criminals.
John, the guy killed 25 people.
And he would have potentially killed more. He could have killed more.
We let these people have guns. Not everybody needs an assault weapon.
There's no evidence that this shooter was going on to a second shooting event when he was stopped by the very heroic actions of those 2 men who took him down. But there was no evidence that they prevented another tragedy. He was on his way out. He was leaving. And the good guy with the gun argument, study after study after study by the FBI, who've looked at mass shooting incidents, have found it rarely happens. Almost every incident, the shooter is stopped by unarmed civilians who stop the shooter while they try to reload, which is the argument against high-volume magazine clips and you know, assault weapons.
And he used 15 clips, right? He had time to reload.
What is the difference between the United States and every other country in the world? In the United States, you're right. Almost everybody has a gun. We have as many guns in the United States as there are people.
Very quickly, Chelsea Handler, the comedian, she's facing this backlash with a tweet hours after the shooting. This is what she put out. Innocent people go to church on Sunday to honor their God, and while doing so get shot and killed. What country? America. Why? Republicans. A White House aide, Kellyanne Conway, was especially outraged and said this on Fox News.
I wouldn't even dignify it. I'm sorry that we even have to show her Twitter comments, because it's so beyond any type of reasonable response that anyone should have. Why people see politics immediately. It's just like I said in Las Vegas over a month ago. You had families literally still looking for their loved ones through the rubble and remains in Las Vegas, running from hospital to hospital. There were people who were injured who then went on to pass away. And yet people are taken to Twitter in the comfort of their very luxurious lives, pointing fingers.
Okay, John, so mass shooting by white guy, too soon to talk about gun reform. Terrorist attack carried out by Uzbeki immigrant, never too soon to talk about policy changes. Attack Democrats and propose new rules for immigration, right?
I think Chelsea, the issue I have with Chelsea Handler is that she was jumping to conclusions and we didn't even have any facts.
Who does that?
But no, but we didn't have, there were no Republicans. We don't know anything about this
The
guy.
one in the White House does
I mean, you see a lot of liberals are saying, well, the NRA needs to be stopped right after that shooting. It was an NRA member who saved the day, as much as the day could be saved.
Again, 25 people were already killed in this case. The guy was driving away, but that's not even the point. I mean, if you go back, Chelsea Handler, I'm not going to, you can't just say,
sure,
you know, all Republicans are evil. I mean, that's the wrong thing to say in this case. But we have a gun problem in this country that is unique to the United States of America. Why is that? We're not doing anything to solve it. There's nothing coming out of Congress, and the president says that we can't do anything about it. So this keeps happening.
Yeah, I had all these questions on Russia. Didn't get to it. Okay.
Good times.
Matt and John, good to see you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, next here on Newsroom LA, just weeks apart, the worst mass shooting in modern U.S. history and the worst mass shooting at a church in U.S. history. How the current laws work